Hello everyone. It is a Sunday morning or early afternoon now, and we are leaving Flying J in Pontoon Beach. I had to jump on because, again, if you watch my channel, you know that I love Flying J's to stay overnight and that kind of thing if we need to take a quick rest or whatever. Well, I have encountered the worst Flying J that I've ever been to in my life, and it's in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. First of all, when we got here yesterday, we had planned on just pulling into the RV spots and staying in these spots overnight, and there's not one spot available because they are taken up by all of the bobtail trucks. Now I'm going to put a clip in here because we're on the next day now, and they're still all filled by the bobtail trucks. So we just paid for a reserve spot in the truckers area. The plan was to come in, fill up our propane before we get to our campground in Missouri, and because we'll be there 2 weeks, and we were going to fill up our propane, fill up our gas, and then stay overnight like we typically do. Well, we get here, and we're waiting at the propane. I called in for someone to come out to fill the propane, and we were told that there was no one here to licensed, I guess, to or certified to fill the propane until 8 p.m. that night. Okay, a lot of good that does. While we were sitting there filling up our gas tank, 2 other people came up wanting propane, and of course they had to turn them away as well because there's nobody certified to pump propane at Flying J in the middle of the day. I'm absolutely taken aback. Okay, so bobtails are in all the spots. We're across the street from a place called the Hen House. Went to the back. We actually did have a restful sleep, although it is feeling sketchy. It felt pretty sketchy, but we had already paid for the reserve spot. But we did have a restful sleep back there for about 3 hours until someone comes banging on the window asking if we've paid for a reserve spot. Now, when you pay for a reserve spot, you put your receipt that they give you, your ticket, in the window so that when their workers come over, they know that you've paid for the reserve spot. Well, he comes banging on the window, woke up my baby, woke up the dog, Devon stayed asleep, but woke everybody up. So now I said, let me just check and see if there's someone here to pump the propane before we go to Love's in Bridgeton. And there actually was someone available to pump the propane. So I call in, ask for someone to come out to pump the propane, and they tell me that they've got to take our driver's license. So we've got to come in and leave our driver's license in there until the propane is pumped, because they have drive-offs in this area. So they've got to hold our driver's license before we get propane pumped. This is a sketchy area, not a place where you want to stay. So stay away from Pontoon Beach, Illinois' Flying J. Another thing was, we had 1 bag of clothes that we were going to go ahead and wash so that we'd have everything done by the time we get to the campground and just sit there and relax. DeMont went into the area, into the laundry area. He had Trinity with him because Trinity likes to go with him everywhere he goes. And he came out and says, we're not washing in there. We're not going in there washing in there.
And there was another laundromat that said out of order.
And there was only one working because it said out of order. So, once again, this has to be the worst Flying J that I have ever seen, stayed at, whatever the case may be. Don't come to the Flying J in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. You will be greatly disappointed. And keep going to Love's in Bridgeton. I hear that that's all right.
And don't bring your kids because they told me that there's a lot of people.
Too many people, way too many people, and again, really sketchy. So he was holding tight to Trinity's hand and was not gonna let her go. Not a great area at all. So we are out of here. We will see you when we get to our campground.
And buy the candles.
See you when we get to our campground in Missouri. Bye-bye.
I think I did that.
Okay. So this has to be one of the worst.
The worst.
The worst Flying J's ever. So I go in to leave my driver's license. Never heard of before in my life. The lady comes in and says the propane is not working, knowing that my wife just called
5 minutes ago.
Not even 5 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago. and they had an attitude.
Right.
I just don't get it, but so be it.
And we're waiting.
Yeah. So and now we're still waiting. She's probably gonna make me wait for another half an hour so I can have another attitude just like she had.
So you can see all of the bobtails are taking up all the spots here at the Flying J. So there's not one space that an RV can come and stay. And those are all the RV spots. And there's not one place that an RV can come and stay.
And here
So we
comes
ended
our
up
RV.
staying in the back there, back this way, in the reserved spots. And again, it wasn't horrible, except when they came and woke us up in the middle of the night. It was absolutely ridiculous when the receipt is right there in the window. Well, it's 10 minutes later and we're still waiting for propane. In a moment, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off and go to Bridgeton, Missouri's Loves, where we should have gone to begin with. I called them yesterday when they didn't have anyone here to see if there would be someone there either last night or today that could pump propane. And they answered me like, yeah, of course, we have bulk propane available. There's someone here to pump it. So we're still here waiting. I'm gonna wait another minute or two and then we're out of here. And I called back in there and told them we've been out here waiting 10 minutes and we're still waiting. So it's several minutes even after that call. And they told the manager that we were still waiting.
Still waiting.
Still waiting.
Still waiting.
Okay. So she came out and she doesn't know where the extensions are because she's been sick and hasn't been here for a few weeks. The lady who's certified to pump the propane. So we are waiting again.
And look at Lola.
She's waiting too. So you're not going to believe this. She came back out because she couldn't find her parts, but she came back out and she apologized immensely and said that while she was sick, all of her parts to her propane or her propane extensions and that, her propane hoses were broken and they threw them all away. And so they still have no one to pump propane. So we're on our way to Loves in Bridgeton, Missouri. And we would have been there by now because it's only 22 minutes away.
And come and get the candles.
We would have
And
been
the
there by
Pepsi.
now if we had just left.
And
Take care.
And
So we made it to the Loves in Bridgeton, Missouri. Pressed the button, didn't even have to call in. Pressed the button for propane. Somebody came right in. I've never been so excited to get propane in my life. Here's a big sign. Where is it? You see it from the street. Propane available 24/7. Yay! Propane is available and they're on their way out. So then we'll make it to our destination right after this. We got our propane. We got our propane. I shouldn't be this excited about getting propane, but this has been an ordeal. Demont and Trinity are inside paying right now for our propane, and we are going to head to our campground and relax and meet with some family later on. And I'm just very excited that we're done with this. If you need propane and you're headed to Missouri, bypass Flying J in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, and go right up the road just a few miles to Bridgeton, Missouri to Love's and get your propane. It's quick, it's painless, and they do the job well. Bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in.